Was kann man ihm Freunde? Ein Uli und herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer neuen Folge von der Fata Morgana, Requiem for Innocence. Wir sind heute in der 10. Folge angelangt. Und letztes Mal sehr cool mit so Morgana und so Couple Talks und sehr fresh. Und jetzt letztes Mal war 2,5 Jahre Timeskip. Ups. Wie man hier sehen kann vielleicht auch noch? Nö. Nee, da steht nur 2 Jahre Timeskip. Und ich frage mich, was Morgana sich hier gedacht hat, ne? What if someone else like that really does this? So, jemand wie sie, so. That would be very, so very, hätte sie gedacht, sad, beautiful. Es gibt so viele Sachen, die sie sagen könnte.
Ich würde sagen eher...
Sie denkt selber, sie ist die Daughter of God, so.
Also wird sie es nicht gut finden, denkst du?
Ja, I don't know, man.
So very sad oder so.
Ja, ich weiß nicht, vielleicht...
Aber es ist auch, musst du dran denken... Nein, warte.
Ja, wenn sie es so sagt, dann meint sie so solche, die so sind wie sie, so Saints.
Aber es ist ja auch...
Saints.
Ja, immer schon. Okay.
There she is. An early summer breeze blew past, rustling vivid green leaves. With the pleasantly warm wind at my back, I entered a graveyard. Anyone who wasn't from around here would probably have thought it nothing more than a curious arrangement of stones on an abandoned plot of land, though. No one knew the names of most of those buried here. And they probably died without anyone by their sides. In death, though, they finally found themselves with someone to give them attention, to show them love. Love in the form of a prayer for the repose of their souls. And on this abandoned plot of land knelt its de facto caretaker, a young girl, and the only person who paid the debt who lay here in my mind. Any mind, sorry. Ah ja, stimmt, das hat er erzählt. Dass sie immer bei den Grabsteinen war.
Mhm.
She's too deep in prayer. I guess I'll have to wait. It had been a little under 2.5 years since I had rescued Morgana from the Lord's Manor.
Oh, das ist einer meiner Lieblingssounds, glaube ich. So schön.
Ja. Much to my chagrin, she was still far from anything that could be described as opening up. Das stimmt, er hat gesagt 3 Jahre, ne? Also Maria. But she wasn't quite as distant as before, from my perspective at least. She had stopped calling the girls at the brothel vile and impure, and she was even somewhat conversational. Sometimes. It seemed to me her trauma had loosened its grip on her, if only a little. Of course, she had a tendency to be on the brutally blunt side, which became more obvious as she started talking more. Was auch noch ist, das war glaube ich eine Jacopo-Story, was er so erzählt hatte, dass als er mit Morgana irgendwie so in der Stadt am Rumgehen war, dass sie nie seine Hand nehmen wollte. Und vielleicht erfahren wir jetzt aus ihrer Perspektive, was sie sich so gedacht hat. Wir haben es halt nie so erfahren. Solche kleinen Details. Und das ist cool. Details. And I felt like the brutal past was getting more prominent every day. Though I supposed it was a good sign. Better than her refusing to interact at all, at least. Probably. She had also, most notably, begun showing signs of independence. Burying and sending off the dead who had no family or loved ones to do it for them was one such activity she had taken on. Living in the slums, it was hardly uncommon to see corpses abandoned in alleyways on the side of the road. Generally speaking, they would be tossed off into a ditch somewhere out of the way to rot. But over the past couple years, that had stopped happening. Because Morgana had taken it on herself to give them proper burials and a gravestone. Nothing fancy, just a plain slab of log to mark the grave, but it certainly seemed much more respectable than the alternative. Every day she came out to the graveyard to pray for the departed. She had always seemed a bit abnormally pious. What? But there was something almost frightening about her dedication to the task. Okay, pious. Fromm. Devout, upright, religious, God-fearing. Okay. She was only 9 years old at the time of the slave revolt, which made her 11 now. And rather than play with other children her age, she collected abandoned corpses in the slums and brought them here to bury and pray for. Abnormal didn't even begin to describe it. Some time ago I asked her, why don't you go out and play like the other children? To which she calmly responded,
I could not possibly waste my time idly engaging in worldly recreation.
I knew that God was the most important figure in her life, but it still seemed excessive. Not even a convent was that draconian. I made numerous attempts to warm her up, but they all fell flat. Nothing I said seemed to make it through the heavy wall she had built around herself. And that was how Morgana acted around me and the girls at the brothel, those closest to her. The rest of the town could hardly get within shouting distance before being shut down.
Shut out.
But although it wasn't like they tried either, most everyone else actively distanced themselves from her. On some level they appreciated her taking care of the bodies that showed up, but ultimately to them she was little more than a spider that captured more dangerous insects, begrudgingly left to its own devices. Hardly anyone found her pleasant, and they didn't hide it either. But not just because of her choice in hobbies. The biggest factor was, of course,
may your soul find eternal peace.
the disquieting marks covering her face. You all done?
I didn't realize you were there.
Been here for a little while now. You should really pay more attention to your surroundings. This isn't exactly the safest area.
Why bother? No one is going to do anything to me.
Maybe not now, but a few years down the line, that's a whole nother story. You should get in the habit early. You're a growing girl and your face could very well be better by then too. Never mind the fact there are people out there who will take anything as long as it got girl parts. It's got. What if one of them decides to target you?
Appalling.
Aren't they? Which is why you should be a little more cheerful. Careful.
You are an appalling man.
Why am I appalling?
Because the thought crossed your mind.
It did not. I'm just saying there are people out there who think like that, and you need to look out for yourself.
The fact that you would say that at all is appalling.
I'm just looking out for you.
Oh Lord, may this sinful man be cast down to hell where he belongs.
Jokes. Jeez, you know no mercy, do you? I feel like you treat these corpses nicer than you do me.
No, you'd be correct. If you want me to be nice to you, go die.
The girl has got no mercy. Anyway, if you're done praying, get over here. Get over here. It's ointment time.
How many times must I tell you? You're wasting your time.
Don't be such a pessimist. Rome wasn't built in a day. And there are still other omens we haven't tried.
I'm not being pessimistic, I just...
Then unless you want to stay looking like that, what do you have to lose? Now come on, off with the hood.
You're a very stubborn man.
Pots, kettle. Call me whatever you want. Nothing you can say will bother me in the slightest.
I loathe you.
What?
You were saying... Smilet sie gerade?
Ich glaube schon, weil sie macht ja so ganze Jokes. You're kidding, right?
Partially, yeah.
You little bitch!
I thought you were going to apply the ointment. What are you waiting for?
Ja, das war sogar bei Jörg schon, wie er sagt so, you son of a bitch. I sighed and gave her a little glower, then scooped up some ointment with my fingers. Morgana angled her face toward the floor, which closed her eyes and waited for me to begin. There was an element within the gang that gave me flack for all the time I spent looking after and caring for Morgana. Well, it was mostly just Gretchen, actually. A Fleck? Was ist wirklich jetzt ein Fleck?
Flag.
Also ich weiß gar nicht, ob es gut ist oder schlecht, aber probably gut. Und es nur.
Das ist so. So GIF im Shit sozusagen, weißt du? Hast du mit A geschrieben, gell?
Ja. Bad Press,
Ja.
Stick, Slagging Off, Slang, Verbal. Ja,
Das ist
okay.
so, wenn man ihn so verarscht, sozusagen.
Ja.
So.
Und es ist so Gretchen, Fahrchen.
Yeah. If I were you, I would have tossed that ungrateful brat out on her ass years ago. Would be another story if she were a looker, of course.
And to a degree, I understood where he was coming from. I certainly would have appreciated a little gratitude. On the other hand, all the time I spent with her, even if it was largely being verbally abused, allowed me to notice the more subtle changes in her mannerisms. And seeing that growth, however small, was one of the things that motivated me to keep at it. For example, a year ago, whenever I went to make physical contact with her, I would have to verbally reassure her I had no intention to do her any harm, or she was likely to start shouting. And even if she didn't, she would sit there the whole time I applied ointment, incredibly stiff. Now she was more relaxed. I could even sense a sort of trust emanating from within her as my fingers rubbed against her skin. It wasn't my imagination. At least I didn't think it was. It was something only perceptible through the act of making direct physical contact. That said, she is still borderline inscrutable. As I massaged the ointment into her skin, I traced the outline of her face with the flat of my thumb.
So Message, so die Massage.
Ja, mit der. Was hab ich da gerade gelesen?
Was hab ich da gerade gelesen?
I traced the outline of her face with the flat of my thumb. Also so.
Achso.
Er hat sie gemockt mit seinem Daumen. The vast majority of her face was discolored, and in places, patches had festered and fallen off. The skin at the corners of her lips was shriveled and curled up, which I could only imagine was fairly painful. It was rough and uneven, hardly a pleasant sensation, and a far cry from the clean, smooth skin most girls her age would have. Maybe she's right. You'd think it would show some sign of healing by now if it were ever going to. Despite my constant insistence that she stay optimistic, it was probably me who was most disappointed, most frustrated at the complete lack of improvement. The ointment wasn't cheap, but to be sure, but I didn't give a damn about the money. It was the sense of hopelessness that got me, that it was all for nothing. Back when we first took her in, Maria had suggested the marks on Morgana's face might be a manifestation of something psychological or emotional. And I was beginning to think she was right. That wasn't going to stop me from trying, though. It was the only thing I could think of to do for her. I wonder what she looked like when she's all healed. Maybe she'll smile for once. Ja, das hat sie nicht gemacht für ihn dann am... fuck, wann war das aber? Nach Tor 8 halt. Als sie so alle zu den allen Mäßen gegangen sind. Anyways, ja. I'd like to see that someday.
Hello? Is anyone in there?
You need something? Oh, sorry, I got lost in my thoughts. I didn't realize I had stopped.
Just in your thoughts. That sounds positively dreadful.
So ein Hater. What's that supposed to mean? I was just thinking about what you...
What?
Disgusting bench! Never mind. Finishing that, just begging for another round of derision.
That's not why I wanted to get your attention either way. What happened there?
Where?
Your arm. It's cut.
Morgana pointed to a gash peeking out from beneath my sleeve. While it wasn't a very deep one, it was hardly a mere scratch either. Oh yeah, that's, you know.
I decidedly do not know.
It's not important. Don't worry about it. This face.
Use that on yourself.
Huh?
The ointment. Stop wasting it on my face, which is never going to heal, and use it on yourself.
No need to get so worked up about it, Morgana.
I am not worked up. I am simply expressing my discontent at your foolishness.
Which I'm pretty sure is the definition of being worked up.
Regardless, don't use any more ointment on me. Use it on yourself. I'm sure it will appreciate actually being useful for once.
Last I checked, medicine doesn't have feelings. Really, it's not that bad. And besides, I'm only going to get more, so what's the difference?
You're going to get more? And what are you doing that would make you say that?
Yeah, I'm,
Too sinful to admit? You're an abhorrent man.
No, I swear, it's nothing bad. You win, I'll tell you. I was hoping to keep it a secret. I'm, doing a little training.
Training?
Integration, oder wie? Yeah, crime and unrest has been on the rise in the slums. Or, well, not just the slums, the city proper too. Things were quiet for a while after the slave revolt, but the Lord suddenly imposed a major tax increase about 6 months ago, which has resulted in a significant number of people unable to afford living in the city. To put it simply, the Iron Fist is squeezing even tighter than ever, and as a result there's been a huge influx of people into the slums. You know how tight things are already, don't you? What do you suppose happens when you have limited resources and space and suddenly twice as many people vying for their share? People have started trying to stake out their territory and they're fighting hard to defend it. People are mugging and robbing each other over scraps. It's a mess.
I had no idea.
Haha. Not many thieves pick makeshift graveyards as their marks, after all. Though in this case I actually think your being so isolated is probably to your benefit. But in any event, me and the rest of the gang have formed a band of peacekeepers of sorts.
Peacekeepers? Is that not the city guard's job?
Die jucken sich nicht für den Slum.
Mm.
The guards have never given a damn about the slums. Why waste manpower on people who can't even pay their taxes? As far as the Lord and his men are concerned, we're just leeching off his hand. We're damn lucky he doesn't make an active effort to chase us all out. That means it's our responsibility to protect ourselves.
I see. So you're trained to use a sword as a part of this band of peacekeepers.
In short, yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting. In what way?
Give me the ointment.
Huh? I'm not done with your...
What's even left? You've done more than enough. Now give it to me.
Here.
Roll up your sleeve.
You're not going to put it on me, are you? Like I said, I don't need...
How many times have I told you the exact same thing? And how many times have you listened to me? This is payback for all the times you've refused to listen to me. You can't argue with that, can you?
No, I guess I can't.
What are you smirking about?
Nothing.
Try to keep this sort of thing to a minimum if you would.
Huh? Why would I want to limit my training time? I need to be prepared for whatever might come our way. The madman of the Lord could be scheming to send his soldiers in as we speak.
I'm sure there are other more suited for the job. You don't seem like you would be especially adept with blade.
Hey, don't judge my skill by my appearance. I'll have you know I'm the second strongest member of the gang.
Oh yes, that's very reassuring.
You're on fire today, huh? Since you seem to have forgotten, I put up a damn decent fight against the Lord during the... God, what the hell is wrong with me? Why am I digging up some of the most painful memories for a cheap break?
Yeah.
Anyway, you get the idea. I'm pretty good with a sword, so you don't need to worry about me.
I see. And out of curiosity, who's the strongest member?
Excuse me? Why would she ask me to my face to give her the name of the one man stronger than me?
It's not a difficult question.
Some asshole named Grayson.
Interesting. Well, I hope he remains number 1 and you stay number 2 forever.
And why exactly would you want that? Ja, damit er nicht in die Frontline kommt und sich verletzt. The whole reason I'm training so hard is so I can surpass Grayson, and she wants me to stay below him? Unbelievable. I get it. It's easier for you to look down on me if there's someone who can put me in my place for you.
That isn't why.
No? Well then, mind telling me why?
The strongest member of a group is the one who stands on the front lines.
What's your point? The most qualified person has the charge, yes. I don't see anything wrong with that.
It puts them at greater risk.
Wait, are you concerned for my safety?
It's not you I'm concerned about. Your death will simply make life more difficult for the girls at the brothel. Oh, sorry.
Well, would you look at that? You! Worried about me! I guess if you have a soft spot or two.
Oh, for heaven's sake. I already told you that's not why I'm all done.
Thanks.
Now, I assume you've finished with your business here, so feel free to make yourself scarce.
No need to be so rude. Or do you have some ulterior motive for wanting me gone?
For one, it is impossible for the dead to rest in peace with you around.
Hater. Maybe try thinking about the living first, for once. I've never really cared for how much importance people put on showing respect for the dead. It all seems so pointless to me.
Your blasphemy knows no ends, does it? When your time comes, you're going to find yourself with no one to grieve over your loss.
Fine with me. People are only worth the salt while they're still alive.
And what about the afterlife?
Who's got time to think about the next life when you live in an overcrowded slum where someone might kill you one day for a couple coins?
All the more reason to take it into consideration. The consequences one's action in life have on the next should serve to encourage us to always do what is right.
Not sure about that.
I'm done with this conversation. I don't think there is any getting through that thick skull of yours.
If I offended you, I apologize. I didn't mean to. Say, Morgana, would you mind humming that song you're so fond of for me?
What? Where did that come from?
I'm in a good mood today. And what better way to improve a good day than with good music?
I do not follow that line of reasoning one bit. Why should I have to sing to make you feel better?
What's the big deal? It doesn't hurt anyone. If you have even half a heart, you'll do this tiny little favor for me.
Yes, because trying to manipulate me is a wonderful way to make me want to do anything for you.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was mean of me. Please?
That doesn't sound very sincere. But fine, I'll do it.
I'm begging you, Morgana! Facing away from me, Morgana dropped to the grassy ground, staring off into the distance and beginning to hum.
Hast du gekannt?
Diese Wille?
Nee. Winter.
Ah. Das ist so beim Hum halt dann Isabellas Lullaby. Ich habe mir vorhin bei der Random vorhin auch so ein Video angeschaut zu Promised Neverland, so wie, also er ist, kaum, aber er ist so alle Arcs durchgegangen vom Manga. Es gibt ja nicht nur so viele Big Arcs. Anyways, und hat dann so zu jedem Sachen was gesagt. Also das erste, so Grace, also Spoiler by the way. Erste halt Grace House, zweite Goldie Pond, dritte, Digga. Ach ja, mit den, Bastarden da, wie heißen die nochmal? Minerva und so. Und nicht Minerva, Fake Minerva. Und mit dem vierten am Ende halt so. Und so, ich habe mir das schon gesagt, so stimmt, irgendwie kann der True, was er so sagt. Ja, also das, ich meine jetzt das dritte, wo die so angegriffen werden und so Yugo, Spoiler vorne, stirbt. Und so, dass es so keinen Sinn ergibt, wie es leider so erzählt wird, so. Und dass es halt schadet, weil es hat vor Promised immer so gemacht, die haben so gesagt, was sie haben, so ihre Options, und danach ist der Shit passiert, aber jetzt haben die so gemacht, viele andere Sachen. Es passiert Shit und dann kommt so, yo, wir hatten das schon, wir hatten das schon, wir hatten das schon, so ein bisschen so Plot Convenience. Und auch, dass sich die Opinions von den Charakteren so leicht ändern, wenn Emma etwas sagt, ist ein bisschen schade auch so. So, als hätten die keinen eigenen Charakter, sondern nur noch der Plot.
Ey, ich hab schon...
Ja, aber für mich, also wäre es so eine gute Adaptation wie Staffel 1 gewesen, dann wäre es für mich wahrscheinlich trotzdem so Top 10.
Ja, aber ich habe trotzdem gesagt, selbst wenn sie den Manga adaptiert hätten, oder selbst der Manga, meine ich, ist nur Staffel 1 nicht mehr so gut.
Ja, ja.
Habe ich schon mal gesagt.
It wasn't a hymn or a requiem for the dead, but a folk song the girl at the brothel would sometimes sing. No one seemed to know who had written it, though. The lyrics were slightly vulgar, and people were supposed to clap and hoot along with the music. But Morgana only hummed the melody, leaving the rest of that out. Oops, in isolation. I sang with her voice, it became a beauty. It was pure, untainted by the filthiness of the slums, unobscured by the crudeness of the people who normally sang it. In many ways, it was hard to believe they were the same song. That it felt like it was hers, like it existed solely to be heard in her voice. Listening to her song, I sprawled out on the grass.
Oh. Hab ich schon mal gesehen, diesen Sky, aber...
I know. The blue sky spread out above me as far as the eye could see, and as I gazed up into it, all my problems seemed to fade away. That I lived in a dirty slum, that the Lord was digging his claws even deeper into the city, that I was in the middle of a makeshift graveyard for those who had no one else. It all just disappeared. It felt almost as though I had ascended to heaven. The first time I heard Morgana sing was, if memory served, approximately a year earlier. At the time she was still completely walled off, much like she had been when I first brought her to the slums. She always kept her eyes on her feet and she spoke in a soft voice, frequently pausing. She was wary of everyone, including me. One day I went to put ointment on her face and she shouted, roared, practically, for me not to touch her. To be honest, it was somewhat aggravating. Another, I asked about her father, and she just pointed up at the sky saying, he's up there. Which it took to mean she was dead, so I dropped the subject and got back to applying ointment on her. At some point I started humming the song, which I had picked up from the girls, and upon hearing that she told me she was quite fond of it. And then she began singing. Immediately I found myself entranced by her voice. Though she always spoke in soft, muffled tones, her singing voice was incredibly clear, like I was listening to a chorus of angels. Of course, the moment I put that thought into words, it'll lose all its potency. It'll just turn into some loser's cheap pickup line. It really is something, though. If she told me her voice could raise the dead, I would be inclined to believe it. It's just that beautiful. Well, it was true. Morgana could be difficult and wasn't the most affable. I knew that at heart she was a sensitive and passionate girl. That she would come to this graveyard every day and pray for peace for all the forgotten souls was more than enough proof of that. Sie muss ihren inneren Kern auch mehr nach außen drängen. Geil. Though she surrounded herself with high walls, she was probably the kindest, most loving person I knew. And that was what drew me to her. It didn't matter what anyone said about her, how quick they were to judge her as ugly or standoffish. I knew they were all wrong. It would be wonderful if I could just spend the rest of my days listening to her sing.
Are you asleep?
I'm awake. I was just resting my eyes.
Oh. And I was about to accuse you of being boorish, of having the audacity to ask me to sing and then fall asleep.
The fact that you were almost upset seems to suggest you want to be heard, despite how much you protested it.
No, I simply...
Gebali. Oh, I've got the perfect idea. We can build a makeshift stage at the pub and have you sing for everyone.
What?
Don't worry, it'll be fine. You can wear a mask if you don't want anyone to see your face. You don't even have to get on stage if you'd rather not. You can just sing from behind a curtain. Who knows, you could end up being a big hit. Come on, come on! Hear the soothing song of the enigmatic siren.
Absolutely not.
No, I think it's a pretty good idea, myself. Oh, is it because you don't like taking other people's money? I wasn't planning on charging. I just thought it would be nice if more people could hear.
As I already said, absolutely not. And if you push the issue any further, I'll never sing for you again.
Noted, forget I said anything. Seemed like a good opportunity to get her interacting with more people, but I guess not. Such a pretty voice is wasted on just me.
What? You look like you have something else to say.
Nope, not a thing. Well, I'm not going to force her if she's opposed to it. Say, Morgana. Yes, there's something I've been wondering for a while now. Ich glaub's jetzt... Ich kann, ob ich gerade lost bin, aber ich glaube, sie nennt ihn immer nur so you. Sagt sie jemals zur Koppo?
Oh.
Aber kann auch sein, dass ich gerade vergesse einfach. Deswegen wollte ich kurz einmal durchgehen.
Lassen wir darauf achten, I guess.
Ja, mal schauen. You've never actually called me by my name, have you? Das ist verrückt. Verrückt? Ja, das ab.
Ja, du bist immer ein guter Caller. And where did that come from?
I've just been thinking about it, and I can't recall a single time you've done it in the more than 2 years we've known each other. Don't tell me you've forgotten my name.
Ich kann sagen, ja.
Are you kidding me?
I remember it, yes.
I don't like that emphasis on remember.
Is it really that big of a deal? There's rarely ever anyone else around, so it's not like you don't know when I'm talking to you. Besides, I'm planning to leave when I get older. So I don't see much point in getting very attached to anyone. Das ist wie Robin, die nie den Namen der Stute gesagt hat, wo sie nicht geplant hat zu bleiben, weißt du? Sie hat nur gesagt, nachdem sie gejoint ist, nach Innocence.
Ja, nach ihrem Arc.
Ja.
Do you have a destination in mind?
No, not yet.
Why are you thinking so far ahead then? You're 11 years old. You've still got a few years before you're old enough to be independent. And you're going to spend that whole time keeping everyone at arm's length? I just think maybe it's about time you took down some of those walls. Might take a little weight off your shoulders in the process. I'm not going to say you have to, though. Anyway, I should head out. I've got work to do. Try not to stay out here too late, okay?
I'll be leaving as soon as you're gone.
I could walk you back, then.
I can make it back fine on my own, thank you.
As you wish. Hey, Morgana.
Thought you were leaving.
One day I'll show you the world.
Do you ever get tired of saying that?
You've gotta think big, dream. The world's changing all around us. A life just fighting to make it by day to day is hardly a life at all. I don't want to spend the rest of my days confined to this tiny little corner of the world.
Well, try not to let your dreams grow so big they crush you.
I'm sure I'll be fine. Aber es ist auch echt krass so, Morganas Behavior so, ne? Sie ist hier 11 years old und sie ist so gar nicht so, ne? Aber obvious. That's how you think for me if it ever gets to be overwhelming.
Why would I be there?
Why wouldn't you? It's hard to show you the world if I don't bring you with me. Knowing you still won't know where you want to go. So I bring you with me. We can find a place for you together. Pretty good deal, huh?
I don't need to see the world. All I want is...
Huh? What was that?
Ja, echt? Was hast du Geräusch?
Der Wind. No way, Digga.
Nothing.
All I want is, und jetzt wissen wir es nicht wegen dem Scheißwind?
Ha!
Now I'm even more curious.
It's nothing, really. Now go on. Shoo!
Shush. Fine, fine. See you later, alligator. Morgana? Ja, was hat sie sich gedacht?
Doesn't he ever get tired of chasing me down day after day? I thought as I watched him walk off. Quite honestly, I didn't understand that man one bit. Apparently, a lot of people respected him, and he seemed to have a fairly large social circle as well. I couldn't fathom why someone like him would go out of his way to spend time with me. It wasn't for lack of people to talk to, and it certainly wasn't because we got along. Never mind my face, which couldn't be pleasant for anyone to be subjected to for any amount of time. Would he go so far out of simple pity? Hopefully he doesn't have ulterior motives.
At long last, your face is healed. I spent enough money on you to build a house. It's in the walls. And you're going to pay me back tenfold.
I pay you back.
Now go forth, Morgana. Work! Be the greatest heart this portal has ever seen. Ja, genau so.
Ja, so ein Cackling-Villain.
Das ist nur ein Kummerlachen.
Cackling-Villain Jacopo review. He's probably not that devious. Enough foolish speculation. It's going to start getting dark soon. I should head back. The brothel was always rather quiet at this time of day. The girls worked at night, so they were generally asleep while the sun was out, and it was my job to take care of cleaning, laundry, and preparing meals while they rested. When I first arrived here, everything seemed so filthy, and while I still felt that way to a degree, nights when they were open for business were still miserable. I wasn't quite so prejudiced against the girls themselves anymore. They were kind to me, treated me like a sister, or tried to at least. I kept them at a distance though. I didn't so overtly spurn them as I had before, but as the holy daughter of God, I could not form familiar relationship with prostitutes. I could not delight in being pampered by them. My unwillingness to open up probably disheartened them, but still they did not throw me out or lash back at me for it. And no one made any remarks about my face. As prostitutes, they frequently caught all sorts of diseases. In my more than 2 years here, several had even passed away. One had gotten hives all over her body, transforming from fairly pretty to absolutely hideous in only a few days' time. And they had seen considerably more than me, so they had no reason to comment on a girl with a little flesh missing from her face. Which was to say everyone was sympathetic for me. I should get the fire started. I had taken care of most of the cleaning before leaving for the cemetery, so my next task was preparing food for the day. Supplies had been scant of late, which meant today I was making yet another watery vegetable soup. Alright, he mentioned crime was on the rise. That would explain the trouble getting supplies. And here I am, completely oblivious to what's going on outside. From time to time, I would catch one of the girls saying, often with an uncomfortable laugh,
She's still the same old Morgana.
but personally, uncomfortable laugh so. 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 Warum? Lass du mir lachen, hallo. So. But personally, I felt as though I had changed quite a bit since arriving here. No longer being intrinsically disgusted by prostitutes was big enough, but even more significantly, how pathetic. I'd become astutely aware of how much I was on the receiving end of others' generosity. Before coming here, the thought would have never even occurred to me. I was always the giver of generosity. The saint everyone, man, woman, and child alike came forth for help. I hadn't told anyone what I was though, so I didn't get any of that special treatment. And perhaps that was part of what it allowed me to change. Of course, because I kept all that tightly locked up inside, the only thing people saw was an aloof little girl. Finally, the coal is lit. Now to add tinder.
Knock, knock.
What? Hmm? What? Who's that? And who shouts? Achso, er hat schon geschaut.
Ja, wirklich. Ne?
Knock, knock instead of knocking.
Also knock, knock, knock.
Everyone else is asleep, so I can't just hope for someone else to deal with it. But someone's going to wake up eventually if she keeps yelling. Okay, so no, she. But everyone's exhausted and they need a rest.
Knock, knock, knock.
Oh, for heaven's sake, quiet down out there.
Shut the hell up. Who's you? Ah, finally, someone. Ich kriegt auch CG, neue Charakter, I guess. Keine Ahnung, ich glaube, die haben wir noch nie gesehen.
Ah! What? What are you screaming for?
Are you okay?
Look at his face. Huh? Why wouldn't I be? I'm rather more concerned about you myself.
Your face, look at your face!
Ah, right, my face. It's just...
They treated the girls good here. Achso, die will hier anfangen zu arbeiten.
Yes,
You can't be what? Maybe 10 years old? And look at you!
huh?
Unbelievable! What kind of terrible man would fuck a little girl like you and then make you blah blah his blah blah and give you all these nasty diseases?
Does she think I'm a prostitute? Hold on, please. You're jumping to conclusions.
Don't you worry, you've got a friend in me.
And Toy Story. You've got a friend in me. No, the song.
Ja. Det är därför som Margit drip up is in there.
No, that's not what...
There's still hope. Tomorrow will be a better day.
I'm not...
Is it not because of a disease then?
Yes, thank you, finally. No one gave me any disease.
You're being tortured!
What?
Now that I get a closer look at you, your hands are all torn up too. Do they really bust out the whip that often here?
No one will.
Yeah, I can't believe my eyes. Who would do this to such a little girl? To such a little girl.
Excuse me.
I'll have to give the man in charge a stern talking to. It's his job to protect his girls.
Excuse me.
Knock, knock, knock.
Ja, was ist mit
Fata
der?
Morgana, shut the fuck up. Shut up and listen to me.
Was es gibt?
Ja, das gibt's, hat sie gesagt.
Ja, okay, aber.
Was?
Ich würde vorlesen.
Ja?
Shut up and listen to me.
Ouch!
I didn't mean to do that. Oh, Father, I pray for your forgiveness, for I have disobeyed your teaching and raised my hands against my fellow man.
Nothing for me. The one who actually got kicked?
Before you do anything, you could perhaps introduce yourself.
Da ha 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 ha. This is what I get for jumping to conclusions. I've always had this super bad habit of letting my imagination run wild, you see? As soon as I saw you, it was like dark, dank dungeons. A little girl hung upside down, buck naked, a big smirking, shirtless man holding a cat or 9 tails. The girl's screams echoing on the cold stone. Will she live to see another day? That sort of thing. It keeps going too. Next, the dashing young man appears to rescue the girl, but he secretly...
Shut your mouth for me, would you?
I...
You're allowed to breathe.
Ah.
Okay, so, what was your name?
Karen! Spelled Karen! This G like Jester and Ran like ransom.
Because it jumps auf.
Wo ist ein J?
Wahrscheinlich so spricht man es aus.
Jaren.
Jaren.
Achso, Jaren.
Ja.
Jester und Ransom. Jaren.
Renigo.
Egal, ich nehme auf den runterbringen.
Shut your mouth for me, would you? But you are allowed to breathe. God, it's way too early for this shit. What's it like? Noon? 1? Should I have not let her in? Oh nah, you're fine. I've known we were getting a new girl for a few days now. Well, I sure wasn't expecting this. You don't have to keep your mouth shut permanently. If you have something to say, spit it out.
So, is this the part where I get fired before I even start? I missed the part where that's my problem.
Tell me something, would you? Do you act around your clients? Do you act that around your clients?
Wahaha, is there something wrong with how I act?
Moving on. Stand right there for me. And for the love of all that is holy, hold still.
Yes, ma'am.
Sagt sie, wenn sie hochspringt.
So what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Just hush and hold still. Sie holt
Ja.
nicht still.
Sie scannt, doch, Maria guckt halt sie an, um zu gucken, ob sie hier passt zum Arbeiten. I guess. You're staring holes through me.
Just a little more.
You're getting real up close and personal there.
Need to make sure you're up to par.
Par with what? Is this necessary? Hello!
Alright, at ease.
At ease, Digga, wieder Militär.
You pass. You're hired.
Really sweet! So what was all that about?
You gotta have an exam first, obviously.
I see.
I'll tell you this though, if you weren't cute as all hell, I'd have thrown you right out on your ass.
Am I really that cute? You're making me blush.
You realize that wasn't a compliment, right? Anyway, you start work tomorrow. Today, familiarize yourself with the rules and layout of the place.
Aye, mom. Ma'am.
Mom. Morgana, can I ask you to show around? What? Alright. Thanks a bunch.
Much obliged. Obliged, I know.
I'm already beginning to regret this.
Talk about culture shock though. I've never seen a place with a woman manager.
Oh yeah, I'm not the manager. Just an old hat.
Hum, so where's the big boss hiding then?
No boss here, just us girls.
What? You don't have a manager? Really?
Nope. You'll find this is more like a community than anything. A bunch of girls with nowhere else to go who banded together and built the place up. And it's been going like that for more than a decade now. What I've been told, it started as just a little shack. Didn't even have a proper flooring.
Ich bin echt gespannt, wieso, also wahrscheinlich denke ich, werden wir es ja auch erfahren, wieso die Bandits das hier angegriffen haben, ne?
Sie war der Trader.
Ja, maybe.
Charon.
Weil sie ist hergekommen und dann alles gebrochen hat.
But by the time I showed up, the facilities were a little nice. The roof still leaked like a bitch though, and we didn't have nearly as many rooms to set up as we do now. But we worked our tails off over the years, scrounging together the money and time to patch it up. They patched me up. And grow it to what you see now.
Spärlich, Hebros. Ha? Neato.
Of course, not having someone specifically in charge of running the place does come with its own set of challenges.
Does it sound like a pretty good deal to me? Everyone gets to do their own thing.
It's not that simple, unfortunately. Makes it more difficult to iron things out of the community and other business when trouble arises. And of course, it means we have no one financing us. But every day's a struggle to make it to the next. Any day could be our last. We could all come crashing down. Toss out any illusion of job security.
Not so Neato.
Need to.
I'm still super duper impressed though. Major props. You guys have made this one heck of a place for the slums.
Yeah, I suppose. I'll take that, I guess.
You don't sound very happy about it.
Well, I mean, pretty much everyone who founded this place is dead now. It's one of the risks of the job. You work your ass off just to add another day and then end up taking 3 off in the process. So once you've got enough to do whatever it is you need to do, you walk out that door and never come back, got it? Whether you've got that to pay off or friends or family who need a little extra money, once you're done, be done.
You're not gonna ask what I need the money for?
If a girl looks like trouble, I'll talk to her and have some guys look into it. But you don't strike me as the type. If you were up to no good, I feel like it'd be pretty obvious. Ja, das scheint rügt.
Ja, wirklich. Gerade was er sagt, Digga, sie ist der Villain hier, Digga. Wegen ihr kam diese Bandits. Sie sollte so abchecken, wie viele es sind, ob man die leicht looten kann, so.
Besides, I've been in this business long enough to know it's not at the top of most girls' dream jobs list. Most of us have been through some nasty shit, and we don't come here to have other people digging around through it. Digging.
Boss!
Boss? What?
You sweet, thoughtful, and the hacker boss. So I'ma call you boss. It's perfect. Perfect.
I told you we don't have a boss here.
Boss.
Well, no harm in you taking a liking to me, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna go crash again. Morgana can answer any questions you've got. Also, any more hollering while I'm trying to sleep and I rip that pretty little head off your shoulders and shove it between your legs, got it?
Yes, boss. Alright, Morgana, lead the way.
Sure. Before we go, though, I have a question. Are you incapable of speaking like a human being?
What do you mean?
Does it really require explanation?
Oh, I get it. We're friends now, so I don't have to talk so stiff like.
You call that stiff?
Yeah, why? Though to tell you the truth, I've kind of forgotten how to talk casual. Guess that's just what happens when everyone around you is big cheese. I'm very respectful of my seniors, I'll have you know.
This conversation is going nowhere, so let's go.
Aye. So you got here a couple years back? Neat. You're gonna start working here once your face all clears up?
I have no intention of becoming a prostitute, no. And Maria has already said she will respect that. Instead, I'm tasked with other chores, such as cooking and cleaning, in order to earn my keep.
Ah, huh? Maria's even more generous than I thought.
Generous?
Most places wouldn't look after a sick girl for that long, let alone give her a room of her own and buy her ointment.
The ointment is his doing, technically speaking. Hier denkt nicht so ist Jacopo, sondern his. But I suppose she's right. You're right. I've begun to feel the same way recently. Taking care of a few chores cannot possibly counterbalance the burden my being here places on everyone else. They would surely all be better off without me.
Bah, that's not what I meant at all. Sure, maybe it doesn't balance out. They're letting you stay here out of the kindness of their hearts. But that don't mean you'd be better off elsewhere, that you're not pulling your weight.
You've been here for all of, what, an hour? How can you possibly know that?
Just look at this place. It's better looking than lot of places outside the slums. And it's you who's been keeping it so clean, Morgana. The last place I was at, it was dirtier than a bear's bunghole. But this is like heaven compared to that. Without you around, Morgana, the girls wouldn't be able to sleep so comfortably.
Perhaps.
Number one Glazer jetzt schon. Von Geran. Ah, are you blushing? You're blushing, aren't you? It's nothing to be ashamed of. You can even jump.
Because it's a can.
Yeah, hex. You can even jump into my arms if you want.
You know. You're incredibly obnoxious.
My heart.
For a second there, she almost had me feeling a little better about myself, but then she went right out the window. Then that went right out the window.
So you came here a couple years back. That would mean they would have been right around when the Lord's slaves revolted, yeah?
Yes, right about then.
I wish I could have been there for it. I bet it was all sorts of crazy.
You mean you weren't around when it happened?
Nope. I wasn't in these parts till about a year or so ago. So I've only heard the stories. Back when the uprising happened, it wasn't even in this country. It was way far away.
I see, so you only moved here recently then?
Nah, I didn't move. I was kidnapped.
What?
I'm a bit of an airhead, if you haven't noticed. One day I was just suddenly taken captive, and then I got sold off.
What? Really?
Yep.
She was taken captive and sold off? I didn't mishear her, did I?
Maybe hat Jacopo sie befreit. Sind da diese Wunder am Arm.
You talk about it like it's just part of your daily routine.
Well, it is the second time it's happened.
It is?
Yeah. Okay, back to the tour then, shall we?
What? That raises even more questions. Well,
Oh yeah, I've been thinking about what I wanna call you, Morgana.
what you want to call me? Is that not what my name is for?
Nicknames. Step 1 to making friends. Duh! So from now on, I'm gonna call you Morgs.
Hey.
Morgs? Du heißt jemand aus einem Manga mit einem Nachnamen Morg. Mock?
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Mok. Mok.
Morg! With a hard G. Mock. Morg. Not a soft one. Just so there's no confusion. Morg.
Thank you. I would have never figured it out without your help.
Morg.
Can you not call me that? It rather gets on my nerves.
You can call me Jerry. Was zum Jerry, Digga?
Ja.
Tom und Jerry?
Ich glaube halt Jaren, deswegen Jerry. Can't be serious.
Da.
Good heavens, I cannot keep up with this girl. Anyway, that about covers it. All that's left to show you is the storeroom.
Weren't we just there?
Yes, but there's a second one. Below us.
Below the floor? Die will so Trader machen.
I made my way to the corner of the room, crunching down and pulling up one of the floorboards. From beneath it appears a staircase leading downward.
Oh, underground storage. Nice and cool to keep things fresh too.
This room serves a second purpose though.
To torture. Oh?
It's also a shelter for us to hide in should any of the trouble arise.
Oh, huh?
Fortunately, it has not yet been used for that purpose. But we're not in the safest area, so we must be prepared for anything.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Nice a place as this is. I guess it is still in the slums. Indeed. Just hoping we don't ever have to use it.
Indeed.
So that's everything then. I've seen the whole place.
Yes, that's everything. Or I suppose I should show you the kitchen as...
Stimmt, sie hat ja irgendwas beim Essen gemacht, ne?
Ja.
What's up?
I completely forgot I was trying to start a fire. Oh shit. That's not fun. Scrambled back to the kitchen, but as I had feared, it was far too late. The coats were long since dead. All that work for nothing. Achso.
Looks like we got big up ass at the side too, Marks.
Digga. Mord. And who do you think is to blame for that?
It's alright, we can get it lit together.
Together, this is all your responsibility. As the sun began to set and meal preparation were complete, the girls started to emerge from their rooms, bustle forming in and around the kitchen. Some sluggishly rubbed the sleep from their eyes, while others complained about clients. Some took a moment for me to recognize in their casual clothes, sans makeup. Off the job and being themselves, they looked less like prostitutes and more like just ordinary girls. There were around 10 girls who actually stayed at the brothel and another 10 or so who came in to work from outside. It was a fairly large-scale operation, at least to my eyes. Though there were a couple other small brothels in the slums, this was the one everyone directed anyone interested to first. Girls with nowhere else to go stayed here, and girls who did have a place to go back to stayed there. No one actually owned their homes though. They either lived with a man or shared a place with a few other girls. None of them had husbands or children. Supposedly there were those who did in this line of work, but it was rather uncommon. I scooped out servings of soup from cauldron sitting over the fire, dashing it out to the girls as they came by. No one gave me any unpleasant looks at the sight of my face. They said,
Good morning.
and smiled. Just like any other day. I whispered a greeting to each of them in turn, but given how noisy the kitchen was, it was unlikely any of them heard it.
Oh boy, it sure is bouncing in here. I like me a place with some energy.
I'm glad to hear that. It didn't take long for Sharon to start hitting it off with the other prostitutes. Her perky disposition was undeniably overdone, but everyone seemed to enjoy the positive attention she was giving them well enough. In almost no time at all, the girls were fawning over her. She's like a puppy. Once everyone had their food, they settled into their individual mealtime activities. The bland, watery soup was expectedly unpopular, even though everyone knew there was nothing that could be done about it.
This again.
Several of them murmured, to which Maria stood up and chastised them, saying, "You should be grateful you've got anything to eat at all."
I know.
And Morgana worked her butt off to make it for you. It's rude to complain.
I'm sorry, really I am. It ain't her cooking I'm complaining about. You know that, right? Don't you, Morgana?
It doesn't bother me. And you're perfectly justified in being displeased. It's hardly nutritious enough to get you through the day. True enough, I guess. Would be great if we could get something with a little more oomph. Like a big old slab of meat.
I love meat. Just thinking about it has me drooling. Meat, bring on the meat!
Save that drool for work, cause that's the only meat you'll get here.
I wonder, maybe I can pretend this rude looking thing is meat and it'll actually taste like it. Meat from the depths, I summoned thee! Meat! Jump. Nom nom nom. Nope, still not meat.
No shit, genius.
No shit, Sherlock. Hätte sie
Meat.
sagen müssen, aber gab's noch nicht. You don't like meat, Marks? No, you won't grow up to be big and strong if you're such a picky eater. Bustling brothel.
I'm not picky about what I eat, no. All sustenance is a gift from God to man. Sustenance. I would never refuse his.
Well, is the meat not to your liking, then, Saint?
Ich dachte,
Ja.
steht draußen.
Hear that, slave? The saint says your blood tastes so bad it makes her reach. Ah!
Ha, ha, ha.
You alright, Marks? You're super pale.
I'm just fine. It's been more than 2 years and I still can't get the taste out of my mouth. No matter how hard I try to forget it. Sometimes when I'm awake, like just now, and sometimes as an awful nightmare.
If you're not feeling good, maybe you should lay down.
I'm fine, really.
You sure? Maybe meat's out of the question. But some bread would sure be nice, at least. God, yes, bread! Too bad supplies have been so scarce lately. It's all the damn Lord's fault. Not that a bunch of whores can do fuck all about it. Is Lord really that bad of a guy?
Alright, you haven't been here in very long. You don't know what he's like. Yes, he's a terrible man. He oppresses his people and rejects the word of God. He's a cruel, heartless, barbaric madman. He deserves the strictest of punishments.
Judgments.
Sorry.
So does everyone in the city hate him, then?
I doubt you will find a single person who thinks otherwise.
Ihre Pause aber mit ihrer Hand. Huh? Well, I hope he stops being the Lord soon, then.
What do you mean?
I just mean it'd be nice if someone else could take over for him. Then he could just be a regular old guy. He wouldn't have to worry about running a city stuff. Everyone wins.
It would be nice, yes, but
We're not pretty dang brilliant, aren't I?
even I know it's not that simple. I'm only 11. How would a bunch of slum dwellers even begin to instate the new lord? Does she even think before speaking?
Well, damn, I was hoping to make it before breakfast time. The couple is here.
Yes.
Sorry about that, but I brought meat. Bread. Bread. Digga. Bread! Speak of the bloody devil! Here, toss it here! Now me fast! Patience, please, you're acting like wild animals that haven't eaten in days.
Look at you, Jacopo. You've got girls fawning all over you.
Don't just watch, help! And it's not me thereafter, it's the bread.
Touché. That said, pretty
Nothing good has ever come out of France.
out of what?
France.
Wer hat's gesagt?
Jacopo.
Echt?
Natürlich. Nicht jetzt, aber an sich.
Oh, kann ich mich nicht erinnern.
Du hast mir jetzt gesagt, ich soll ein Foto machen.
Ach so, France.
Ja.
Frankreich meinst du?
Ja.
Ja, natürlich. Ich hab's falsch gehört.
Ja, weil die gerade gesagt hat, Touché, deswegen.
Ja, natürlich. Ja. I'm pretty sorry, but you've got for us today. Ja, allein deswegen Jacopo Nummer 1 Charakter.
Ja.
You could possibly crack someone's head open with this. There's no hope for the world if we've fallen so far that girls are tripping over each other to get their hands on this.
You want fresh, soft bread? Well, start saving your coins. And until then, this is the best we can get.
Das ist wirklich so hartes Brot, das ist eine Mordwaffe. So.
Ja.
Das kann man in Dating Con mal als Mordwaffe benutzen
Hat er
und dann
vielleicht,
aufessen.
vielleicht irgendwann mal so gemacht, so, ich weiß nicht mehr.
Dann aufessen.
Let it soak in your soup for a bit, that should soften it up some. Though you should be grateful to have it at all.
Oder wenn sie ein Feuer haben, über das Feuer so halten.
Ja.
How much longer till I fall into the pile of money?
Morgs, it's a man, there's a man here.
I have eyes, thank you very much.
Who is it, you know? Oh, is he a client?
No, he's not. He's more, how should I put it? Someone who doesn't know how to keep his nose out of other people's business.
Excuse me, did your eyes fail to detect that I have ears? Eep, here he comes. Haven't seen you around here before. New girl? You first, mister. Who are you? Since you came in through the back door, I'm guessing you work here? Something like that. Holy moly, I've never seen a male prostitute before. You, me, outside, now. Whoa! Talk about aggressive. Inter-office romance never ends well, you know? Maria will get really mad if she finds out. The ship's sinking before it even leaves the port. I want to murder this boy. I think this is safe. Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Two prostitutes in the throes of forbidden love. Until one day an older client finds out and goes mad with rage. All of a sudden there's a knife in his hand. He swings and... Maria, what the hell's wrong with this new guy? I've never seen anyone with this much air inside their head.
That's Sharon. She joined today. She's a bit off in the head, but she's a nice girl. I'm sure you get on just fine.
Nice to meet you. Wait, does this mean we have the boss's approval? It's crazy enough that they're running this place themselves, but to allow no. Here on a sinking ship, this place is out of the world. We just met 5 minutes ago though. So how about we start as friends? Shut up and listen to me for a second, chatterbox. Until I say otherwise, you are not to speak another word. You will listen to every last word I say, and carve it into that empty skull of yours. Understood? And there you have it. I assist with the brothel's operations, nothing more. I presume you've been told about how this place doesn't have a formal manager, so sometimes situations arise for which a man's presence is necessary.
Yep. He may look like a scrawny dork, but he's actually surprisingly useful.
Was that really necessary?
Sorry, my bad. Slip of the tongue.
Ah, neato. So have you two known each other for a long time? A long time? You seem like you're pretty close. It was pretty much just the two of us fighting to survive for years. That's awesome, I love that kind of thing, together through thick and thin.
Not too long ago, he and some other guys started up a band of peacekeepers, so he's been spending more of his time training up with them these days. That said, I guess it's not too bad knowing we've got someone we can throw at troublemakers if need be.
Ooh, peacekeepers? Sweet! You don't look like you'd put up much of a fight though, mister. You wanna test that theory? Maria, you need to teach this girl some damn manners. We'd be drowning in complaints if she treats patrons like this. I have you know, I butter my clients up so much they're a big slippery mess when I'm done with them. I'd be just fine, I promise.
Oh, I bet they get slippery, but not from butter.
What? That's not what I meant, I swear it.
What you getting all flustered for? You're a whore just like the rest of us.
On a somewhat related subject, where exactly did you pick up some of those mannerisms? Huh? Why do you ask? I seem pretty normal to me. It would be quicker to list the things about you that are normal than aren't. Yeah, there's actually a majorly huge story behind it.
Oh? Is that so?
And what would there be? You weren't raised by wolves in the woods and never learned how to behave like a normal person, were you? You're not too far off. Actually, when I was younger... Wait, you don't have to. No one's forcing you to say anything if you don't want to. I didn't grow up with my parents. I lived with a bunch of really nice men and I learned a lot from them. I didn't even know my name until they told me. Pardon? I thought my name was me till I was around 5. But then one of the nice men told me it was actually Sharon. Genius.
Die ist wirklich so, Gehirn, so, jetzt dieses Meme von, Simpsons, glaube ich. Da ist nur so der Apfel, der so.
Kennst du das so im Opening, wie du siehst, so drehen seine Gehirn sind die 3? Ja. Also wenn hier auch so Backstage ist, wer der dümmste Charakter ist, dann ist es Safety.
Es gibt Backstage hier auch.
Oh. He was super duper disappointed in me. Called me the dumbest broad I ever known. Talk about rude.
Ja, fuck das.
But they kinda rubbed off on me, so it's probably what you're seeing.
Well, that certainly is a story.
Is that not good enough for you? I'll just say the nice man was absolutely right. How rude!
It's genuinely concerning how stupid this girl is. Aber es könnte alles ein Act sein.
Ja, oder sie wird ausgenutzt, deswegen könnte es sein.
Anyway, food time.
Was pissen oder was?
Musst du?
Ja. I am stuffed. It's amazing how much of a difference a little breath makes.
Ah, glad you enjoyed it. Because starting tomorrow, you gotta work if you wanna eat.
I boss sus.
Alright, she'll be working here too. Oh, it almost slipped my mind. She seems like such an innocent girl. So far removed from carnal desire from the einzige. Yet she'll be out there selling her body. Letting them put their filthy hands all over it.
What's up, Morgs? You've been staring at my face something first. Fierce.
Well, I was just admiring the unusual color of your skin.
Genau. Yeah, I'm not from around these parts. I'd like to go back home someday, and who knows if that'll ever happen.
Home.
Home sweet home.
She did say she was taken from her home and sold off. I imagine it would make it difficult to go back. Es war noch irgendwas, denkst du, ist nochmal wichtig, wo Jacopo war, die Erinnerung, weißt du, dass so Morganas Name oder so erinnert ihn an seine, wo er war, die Erinnerung da war.
Maybe.
Ob das nochmal vorkommt. Speaking of, you and Jacopo, here, you and Jacopo look kind of similar skin color-wise, aus der gleichen Region.
Yeah, maybe. Do we? Ja, stimmt, die sind nicht so hell wie Maria, wenn man es hier sieht.
Ja.
We're devs both. Yeah. We are devs both on the dark side. I wish I had super pretty white skin like yours, boss.
Ich bin eigentlich so braun, das sieht nice aus, als so voll, you know. I appreciate the compliment, but most everyone around here is really fair. My skin's nothing special.
And just because we both have tan skin doesn't necessarily mean we are from the same region. Where are you from, Jackie? Jackie! Pretty dang adorable nickname, ain't it? I would very much appreciate it if you never called me that again. But it's so cute. Back to the question of where I'm from. I don't remember. In my earliest memories, I was already living here. Chances are things weren't great wherever it was, otherwise I would probably remember something. Ah, darn, that's too bad. But you know, Jackie, maybe where you came from is close to where I came from. Go back a few generations and maybe we even share some family. At Vega, I guess you probably come from the same part of the world as me. You go back far enough, you might even find we share ancestors. Who knows?
You know what's like that?
Yeah. I told you to stop calling me that. Though I suppose there's a chance you're right about that. That makes us family then, Jackie. Ah! Get off me! Let go, damn it!
Well, she seems to have taken quite a liking to you.
Ja, dann frag sie doch, von wo sie her ist, wenn sie es noch weiß. Von wo sie kommt.
Why did I just think that I wished he had said that no, they weren't? Once it started getting dark out, the kitchen became a deserted wasteland. The girls went off to work, so he went home. And he went home. Schon wieder he, ne? Statt Jacopo. Auch in den Gedanken. The brothel was divided into two distinct work and living areas. If it weren't, and they used the whole building for business, I probably would have run off long ago. I had only ever been in the work area during the day, and though it was largely masked by the scent of various incenses burned through the night, it was filled with the unmistakable raw stench of man. Cleaning it always put me in a dour mood. The corpses I gathered and buried were far less repulsive. In the living area there was the kitchen, storage areas, and the large hall of sorts which the girls used as a communal bedroom. They would stumble in after a long night of work and all sleep together like a big family. I made a point of sleeping off in the corner, which wasn't strictly necessary since I slept while they worked and vice versa. I could just never seem to make myself comfortable sleeping in the middle of such a big empty space. Today was slightly different though. Ja, also ich würde auch safe an der Ecke schlafen, anstatt so in der Mitte drin.
Also, wo es warmer ist.
Today was slightly different though. Ich sehe mich gerade irgendwie auch in die große Halle in
Harry Potter.
in Gefängnis Azkaban, wo so alle schlafen.
Also wie Harry Troll mit dem Fuß.
Ja, ich habe mal Zeit, sie filmen gelassen. Ich habe
Ja, die
So,
als Outtakes am Ende machen kann, wie bei
ja.
Rush Hour.
Es ist so lustig, dass so Snape-Schauspieler, Rickman, der halt immer so ernst ist, dass er so komplett im Lachen ist im
Hm.
Today I wasn't sleeping alone. Sharon was there, which I suppose shouldn't have surprised me.
Let's sleep together, Morgs.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I dislike people putting their hands all over me. It makes me uncomfortable.
I see. So you're opposed to what you're supposed to is snuggling, not sleeping together. And here I thought you didn't like me. I was about to cry.
It's early to decide how I feel about you. We only met today.
All the more reason we should sleep together.
In what way does that make any sense?
Simple. The best way to get to know me better is through some good old-fashioned spooning. Words don't get nothing on plain physical contact. That's how you get to know what someone's really like on the inside.
Your choice of words makes that sound incredibly improper.
Sights. I start work tomorrow, which means I probably won't get another chance to sleep with you for a while. So it's gonna be tonight. Gotta be tonight. Please.
Fine, but only if you agree to give me enough space.
Yeah.
At least let me finish my sentence.
Gotta get in there before you have the chance to change your mind.
Feels like we've adopted a dog.
I promise, I'm 100%, 101% human.
I never said you weren't, just that. Never mind. I take it back. It's not like we got a dog. It's like a tornado dropped in and made a horrible mess of my day.
That's Jaren for you. You just wait. I crack that big old icy shell of yours soon, Morgs. Mock.
Is that really how I come off? Out of curiosity, are you not afraid being so close to me?
Huh? Why would I be?
When you first saw my face, you thought it was caused by some kind of disease. Are you not concerned that still might be the case? This was dummly denke ich mir da. And that you might catch whatever it is?
Well, you probably wouldn't be here if it was something contagious. As sweet as Maria is, she wouldn't keep you around if she thought she might get the other girl sick. And nobody else seemed all that concerned at breakfast. Which means, whatever those marks on your face are, marks, they're probably not a danger to anybody else.
I'm surprised.
You can actually think.
You actually have something resembling a functioning brain. Resembling.
Believe it or not, I'm super duper smart. Yeah, the triplets.
Yeah.
I will kill you.
Now that I know isn't true, but anyway, I'm talking more emotionally. You can logically understand that I probably don't pose any danger and still be uncomfortable, still want to keep your distance. I know several of the girls do, and I can't blame them either. They need to be healthy to work and make a living. There's nothing wrong with wanting to avoid any potential risk, no matter how small. Or perhaps they don't even realize they're doing it themselves, in which case there's nothing anyone can do.
Geile Soundtrack-Freunde. I'm not sure how much help I can be, since I don't really get why anyone would want to keep their distance from you. But I don't think it's that hopeless. If they don't realize they're doing it, then you just have to open their eyes. Easy peasy. Make him realize. And then tell him, stop trying to avoid me! You have the right to at least that much. I really think you need to be a little more assertive, Morgs. No one's gonna get mad if you stick up for yourself every once in a while.
They will though.
What? Who will?
All man's suffering is purposeful. It's all part of God's plan, His trials for us on this earth. He would be very displeased if I were to turn my back on His plan for me.
I really think you're overthinking it, Morgs. Less unfun things mean more room for the fun things. And more fun things is always better.
Would you call your life fun?
Huh?
We're taken from your home, and now you work as a prostitute in the slums of a strange country. Do you call that fun? It just seems depressing to me.
No, I'm perfectly happy. Not a sorrow in the world. Hasn't been a single day in my life I felt sad or depressed or like life sucks. I mean, sure, there are days when I think it'd be nice to see my mom again, but I don't really have time to worry about anything other than the here now, and as far as I'm concerned, now is always the best time of my life. Don't got any room to feel bad about anything.
I see. You're quite the optimist. So much it almost burns.
I consider myself lucky to have ended up at this brothel. Everyone's amazing.
Then I pray you'll find yourself at home here.
Ah, you kinda sweet, Mox.
Kind of.
Slip of the tongue. You're always sweet. So hey, Mox. How did you end up here a couple of years back?
I was thrown into a carriage by a strange man and brought here, with no chance of ever returning. Not taken but sold. Though ultimately the difference is insignificant.
You were?
I came through a similar route as you.
Oh, ha! Guess that makes us peace in a pot.
Not at all, we're anything but. I'm nowhere near as optimistic as her, never mind energetic and cheerful. No, don't be foolish, Morgana. That's not why we are not alike. It's because I'm God's chosen daughter. I have absolutely no reason to feel inferior to a mere prostitute. We're nothing alike, and we must never be.
Hey, you're so warm, Mox. I'm gonna sleep great tonight.
I am such a disgrace.
Freunde, an der Stelle würde ich sagen, nehmt den Leitband auseinander, checkt eine positive Spiegel. Und ja, Freunde, mit diesem geilen Sound würde ich sagen, beenden wir diese Folge. Checkt den Kanal und dann Freunde wieder schauen, Freunde, und
Hang on.
ciao.